I know Jay and Judi quite a while. When they first came to church. Now we're going way back. And we just spent so many years together. And we grew to love Jay and Judi in their ministry there. My wife can't be here today because she's not well today. I know that she put back on what I'm saying. We've gone through so many times with them, and especially the one time that we went to Israel. I don't know if you remember that, Jay, or not. But we just really seemed to bond as a pastor, his wife, and my wife and myself. So we just know that Judy's happy where she is right now. Although we miss her, we're sad that she's not with us right now, but I just want to say thank you, Judi, for the life that you gave, an example for us, the love that you gave us. And I remember last year at my 70th anniversary, surprise birthday party. That April, Jay and Judi and my wife and myself went out to dinner. And that was the day that they received, or that weekend was the day that they received the invitation from my wife and my daughter for my surprise birthday party. Well, it was Mother's Day weekend, and of course it was a surprise for me. And how glad I was to see Jay and Judi there. It brings a lot of memories back, and I thank you. Jay, God bless you.
Anyone else?
I belong to the Belgian church, and Jay is for quite a while our pastor now. But Judi, she was something special. She would always make us plan things. Easter, for Easter parties, and for Christmas. And she would always have such good ideas. And we are only about 18 people there. Jay, right? About 18 if it's a lot. But on Christmas, she would always plan so nice, and our church would be full. And now we're gonna miss her. But she's in a better place because she suffered much. So in a way, we're happy.
Thank you, Jen.
I spent the first half of my life at 55 High Street with my grandparents. And when they left Bridgewater, a new family came. And I remember painting the bathroom up on the top floor of High Street, this horrible color purple. As a little girl, painted that bathroom. And I remember getting the house ready to hand over to a new family. When the Molyneaux walked into the church the first time, I remember seeing Judi. She wore makeup, and she had cool hair, and she wore loud clothes. And I remember the first time I saw a woman in pants in Bridgewater Baptist Church, and I loved it. I loved it. I sat behind the organ with my family and watched her and the kids in the center section, and I watched her listen to every word her husband said, and to take care of her children, and I could hear her voice above everyone's, and I could hear her Tammy. I was blessed because I spent the first half there as a granddaughter on High Street, and they loved me as a daughter for the second half of my childhood. I have two completely different sets of memory, but I just want to say thank you to the family for loving me and for sharing her with all of us. I loved her, and I love all of you.
It's funny, I probably know Judy and Jay less than a lot of the people in this room, but I will say that what I do know is that if you met Judy and Jay, you became a member of their family. And I met them very unexpectedly when I was going to be alone on a New Year's Eve. I remember some friends of mine called and said, "What do you have for plans for New Year's Eve?" And I said, "Well, I've got it all planned out. Got a bottle of wine, a fireplace, and Dick Clark and I are going to watch the ball drop." And they said, "No, you're not. You're coming up to some friends of ours, and we're having a New Year's Eve party." And I would meet Judy and Jay. And we would form an instant bond. And I didn't know some of the things that Tammy was talking about. And Tammy's never met me, but Judy and I would talk for hours on the phone while Jay was on ski patrol. And I knew she'd be alone, and I was alone. We'd just call on the phone, and I wasn't even in the same state. And we'd talk for a couple hours. Love that free cell phone service. And I can talk as long as Judy can. And then she would say, "Whoop, Jay's coming through the door." And I said, "Please say hi to him for me." And I also was, remember about Judy and her cooking, and she loved to feed me, and I was always on a diet. And I remember I came up and had dinner one evening with them, and we had a good time. We went out dancing, and they said, "Don't drive back home tonight, why don't you stay at our house?" So I stayed overnight, and I said, I'm going to get up, and I won't bother you, because I know you have things to do on Sunday, so I'll get out early. And I got up at my usual time of 5 o'clock, and I was on the road. I was almost back home in New Jersey, and I get this call from Judy and said, "Richard, you stinker! I was going to make you pancakes this morning. Why did you leave?" She always wanted to feed you, and that was them. And the most wonderful hospitality. I love them both.
I just want to say it was an honor to have Judy as a friend, and she was always more caring about everybody else than all of her problems. Even with as bad as she was when she was suffering with cancer, she always cared more about the people than she did about herself, and I love her very much.
Thank you.
I have a great deal of emptiness in my heart today. And if I had never met Judy, it'd be a better day, maybe. But I thank God that 6 years ago I met Judy and Jay. Judy gave so much. How could you not feel good when she smiled at you, and that laugh that she had to brighten up the darkest of days? Always made you smile. The four of us had such great times together. One of those times was back in June of '06. A radio station was going to have a prom. And Judy made up her mind to go to the prom. And as all of you know, when Judy makes up her mind, there's no changing it. Well, that particular day, we had a flood. Judy called up Jay crying because she couldn't make it. Jay called me up because I had a four-wheel drive.
That was in June 2006. You remember when the flood? I only lived 5 miles away from here, and she was in Tunkhannock, which is only 3 miles away from here. But we couldn't get that distance of only 9 miles.
Well, Jay and I set out on a journey to get Judy. 6-mile ride, about 15 minutes. Turned out to be 3 hours and a little bit over 100 miles. But we rescued Judy. When we got there, the smile on her face made the journey all worth it. We had the most wonderful time at that prom that night. It was wonderful. Every time I have a piece of lemon meringue pie, or I watch Survivors, I'll think of Judy. Judy may be gone in body, but Judy's spirit will never, ever, ever die.
Thanks, Judy.